on with you all? Thank you for tapping with me again today. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Cleveland. So welcome to the Fish Corner, everybody. If you're new to the channel, like I just said, this is the Fish Corner. My name is Cleveland, and I need you to do a couple things for me real quick. Before we even get started with this video, hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that notification bell that's right next to it, the little bell, and then give this video a thumbs up. Hit that like button for me one time. Now let's get into this video. So I want to talk to you all about, what do you think? To hell with these filters, right? To hell with the filters. How many of y'all have found yourself feeling like that? If you've been in the hobby for over a year or even under a year, you probably have felt like, to hell with the filter that you're using on your aquarium. Why is it not filtering my aquarium? Why am I constantly having to do water changes? Why am I having to do this? Why am I having to do that? Well, guess what? I'm going to answer all of your questions today in this video. Now, let's talk about filters. Let's talk about the differences with the filters. Let's talk about how you're supposed to add the media into the filters. And then let's talk about what a filter actually does and how do you know if you have the appropriate filter for the aquarium that you have. So, starting at the top, when I purchase a filter, I like to buy a filter that's going to turn the water volume over. That's the maximum amount of water I have in my aquarium, at least 3 to 4 times. At least 3 to 4 times within 1 hour's worth of time, right? So if I have a 70 gallon, 75 gallon, I want to make sure that it's filtering at least 300 gallons, minimum, 300 gallons per hour. That's the kind of filter that I would want on that particular aquarium. Why? 75 times 4, that's going to give us 300. If we're talking about 3 times, a 225 gallon per hour filter that's going to turn that water over that many times within an hour. That's going to ensure that not only is it going to be suitable for a 75 gallon, but if I overstock it, it still will work. If I really go kind of long without doing water changes, it's still going to work for that aquarium. That's the first thing. Now let's talk about the differences with the filters. So you have sponge filters, you have hang on the back filters, you have canister filters, you have sumps, you have above the tank sumps, right? You have all these different kind of filters that's used for aquariums. What's the difference? Well, the loading capacity, right? If you have a sponge filter, all you have is mechanical filtration on that filter with also biological filtration. And we're going to talk about the difference between mechanical filtration and biological filtration. So a sponge filter is really just mechanical filtration along with some biological filtration, as I just said. So because it's a big sponge. So you're not able to have chemical filtration on that sponge filter. We'll talk about that. We have a hang on the back filter. So most hang on the back filters, if you don't buy the ones that have just a little small little packets that slide in the slots, it's just, I'll show you an example of that. If you don't have the one that just slide into the slots, which is a very cheap hang on the back filter in my opinion, you have the one where you have a little basket and then you have on the bottom, you have the sponge filter. Next level, you have the mechanical filtration. You have the next level, you have the chemical filtration, which comes in the way of carbon. Then you have the top level of filtration, which is going to be a biological filtration. It's going to be in the form of media blocks, ceramic rings, things like that. So when we're talking about a canister filter, the canister filter is going to be a big sponge filter, FX6s, really a big sponge filter, plenty of mechanical filtration. And the center compartments is where you're going to find your chemical filtration, your carbon little mats. You're going to have carbon pads. You're going to have your ceramic rings for the biological filtration. So one of the main important things about a filter is having that mechanical filtration. That's going to pull out the large organics from the water. That means if you feed the fish, it gets sucked up, your sponges catch it. That's mechanical filtration. So most filters are going to have a ton of mechanical filtration. So when you think about these expensive FX6 filters, FX4 filters, things like that, a lot of mechanical filtration, minimal chemical filtration, and minimal biological filtration. I believe the most important part of a filter is the biological filtration. Now, what is biological filtration? Biological filtration is what you wait for when you're cycling your aquarium. You're waiting for your beneficial bacteria to develop and colonize in your aquarium to help facilitate the nitrogen cycle. If you don't know what the nitrogen cycle is, I'll tell you what it is. It is when you add ammonia to an aquarium or your fish creates ammonia. This comes in a way of either feeding your fish or your fish defecating or, the urine from any kind of fish waste, right? Whether it's urine, whether it's defecation, which is feces, it's going to raise the ammonia in your aquarium, right? So you add that with the feeding. So then you have this bacteria that converts the ammonia to nitrites, which is still not harmful for your fish. Ammonia is, but that's why it's getting converted to the nitrites, not really harmful for your fish. Then the nitrites get converted to nitrates. Nitrates is what's harmful to your fish. The way that you typically move nitrates from your water is from either doing a water change or you have plants. The plants eat up the nitrates and they grow. So that's why this is one of the best forms of filtration in any aquarium. It's the natural filtration. Get you some plants, add some plants in there. So you got the beneficial bacteria facilitating the nitrogen cycle that is colonized and living on your media blocks, the biological filtration in your filter. You got your mechanical filtration that's pulling the large organics out of your aquarium so you don't see all the little debris floating around in your aquarium. You want your aquarium to look crystal clear. Chemical filtration is the carbon. It removes discolor, your water being discolored. If you have tannins in your water, it will help with that. If your water is looking a little cloudy, it helps with that. If your water smells a little bad, it helps with that. But really, carbon just covers up the problem. Why is your aquarium looking cloudy? If it's tannins, it's because you have driftwood. That's natural. If it's a little cloudy, you might have something else off. You might need to do a water change. You might have caused your aquarium to crash, right? So carbon is necessary when you're done medicating your fish. It will remove the medication out the water. So if you ever medicate your fish, take that carbon out first. But carbon is essential when you think about removing the medication from your aquarium. Other than that, in my opinion, it just covers up the real problem, and you need to get to the root of that problem. Now, that's why I don't run carbon in any of my filters. So we're going to take a look at some of these filters so you can see how I stuff them. When I say stuff them, that means because I usually take out most of the media that they provide. I take it out and add in my own stuff. That goes into the best filtration. What's the best filtration to have? We got the sponge filters, hang on the back filters, canister filters, sumps. How do we know which one to choose from? Well, it really is based upon the size of your aquarium, the stocking of that aquarium, and your understanding to what you really need versus what you don't need. I love sumps. I like to have a lot more media for my beneficial bacteria to colonize. I want tons and tons of beneficial bacteria to be in my aquarium and to be in my sump. So that means I have a perfect nitrogen cycling machine. So the other thing I really always want to keep in my filters is the filter floss, the sponges for that mechanical filtration. I love to have a ton of filtration. We're going to take a look at some of those sumps. That being said, there's an element that a lot of people miss, right? Your media, your biological media is just porous. It's an area where you have the beneficial bacteria able to cover all the surface and thrive and grow and things like that. That's why you have beneficial bacteria all over the glass. You have it all over your equipment that's in the aquarium, whether it be a heater, whether it be a air stone, it's a circulation pump, anything of that sort. It's going to be on your decor. So, what do you miss out on when you have no decor in your aquarium? You're missing out on surface area for your beneficial bacteria to colonize on. What are you missing when you have a bare bottom? You're missing out on another form of filtration. Your substrate is a form of filtration, folks. It's another form of filtration that you're forgetting about. If you have a thick layer of substrate, whether it's sand, whether it's rocks or gravel or anything like that, that is a ton of area for your beneficial bacteria to grow, thrive, and colonize. Now, some people don't do gravel vacuuming, sand vacuuming, and things like that. The main reason why I promote doing that is because if you don't, you can overload your beneficial bacteria. You will not have enough beneficial bacteria to manage that much bioload. So doing a gravel vac, it removes some of your beneficial bacteria, but it removes a lot more of the decaying food, a lot more of the muck and yuck that's going to potentially pollute your aquarium. So it's important to do your gravel vacs, sand vacs, clean that out. Help your beneficial bacteria help you while you assist with this cleaning, because your beneficial bacteria should do the majority of the work. It should keep your aquarium balanced, right? So what do we have to do in order to make sure that our aquarium stay balanced? We need to do our weekly or bi-weekly water changes. We have to make sure that we have the right amount of filtration to sustain our aquarium. We need to make sure that we're feeding properly, and we need to make sure that, well, that's really it. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. Proper feeding, proper filtration, proper cleaning schedule, and your tank should essentially stay balanced, right? So those are the key factors to making sure your aquarium stay healthy. Those are the key factors to you understanding what a filter does. Why do you select the filter that you're selecting? And what does each form of the media inside of your filter do? So now let's take a look at some of the filters that I have in my fish room. I have a bunch. I have sponge filters, hang on the back filters, canister filters, sumps, above the tank sumps, a lot of DIY filters, trash can sumps. I have a wide array of different filters in my fish room. And like I said, by far, the custom filters are the best. So let's take a look. So here's the sponge filters. And like I said, it's all mechanical along with the biological. It's biological because you have a lot of surface area for the beneficial bacteria to colonize within that sponge. Here's the hang on the back filter. Pardon the blue light. But so I took out all of the media that was provided with this filter. So I did keep the ceramic rings. I added the media blocks, and down below I have a sponge. This was actually a shower sponge. So you don't have to use the media or the mechanical filtration that's provided with the filter when you buy one. Alright, so right here is a hang on the back refugium that I purposed totally different. Just turn it into one big filter. As you can see, I have a lot of sponge that's covering up the area where the beneficial bacteria colonize. So the water comes in, the sponges catch it all. That's the cleanest area right there. So you don't really want to muck up the area where your beneficial bacteria colonize, because then, like I said, you could overload your beneficial bacteria. Then the water goes out, goes back into the aquarium. Right here we have an above the tank aquaponics setup. So if you have fish that you cannot keep in an aquarium with plants, this is one option. Now these plants are going everywhere. They are going everywhere. So this, like I said, removes the nitrates out of the aquarium. These right here are my trash can sumps. Again, very, these are practically full of media. This goes to my saltwater aquarium. Matter of fact, both of these for the saltwater aquarium. That's for the freshwater aquarium over there. So this one right here is filled to the brim with all media, all the way up to there. That one right there, filter floss, catches the water as it goes in. On the bottom is it's a little bit of media, probably about up to about right there, and then the water the rest of the way. And yeah, that's why this is able to sustain this 1,300 gallon when I'm done building it. So right here, all right, y'all. So right here we have the sump, overflow box, comes down to the filter socks. I'm going to this compartment right here where the skimmer is. I just removed the skimmer cup because I'm cleaning it. I'm going to show you all what that looks like. So then you pump the water back into the tank from right there. So what a skimmer does is it removes the dissolved organic waste from your aquarium. That's like fish poop, fish waste, uneaten food, suspended particles from the water. So it collects right there and gets skimmed right off the top. So this is essential for saltwater aquariums. Now let me show you that stinky skimmer cup. All right, so I already started cleaning it, but it stinks. It's foul. It smells rancid, y'all. So clean it as often as it needs to be cleaned. Grab me a brush real quick. So you don't necessarily need this for a freshwater, but saltwater, you're gonna need it. Like I said, this thing smells really bad when you're cleaning it. Yep, using my bare hand, whatever. Trying to do it with one hand is not easy. I should have shown you it when I first took it off, but I wasn't even going to do it. But it's a proper video to show you what this thing looks like. I wish y'all could smell it. Definitely wish y'all could smell it. Some of y'all know what it smells like if y'all are keeping saltwater fish. All right. So that's all it needs. Could go and put this back time. All right. So we have on this aquarium right here a couple of different filters. Down there we have the canister filter. That's the FX4. And then we have the above the tank sump right there. Heavy duty. Full of media. We can't look in that one. But we could look into this one right here. So let's take a look and see how I got this thing stocked up. All right. Let me get to the other side. All right, let's take a look. Okay, so water comes in. I could actually swap that out. Water comes in. The filter floss right here catches all of that, which is doing an amazing job. As you can see, it's really dark in the center. And then everywhere else is media. Lava rocks, bio media. I have in here some of these sponges that I was telling you about from the Dollar Tree. Shower sponges. And then the water just goes back into the aquarium. So I really enjoy making my filters because it allows me to stock them the way that I need them. I do have a ton of mechanical filtration. I do have a ton of mechanical filtration in there, but it's a lot more biological filtration because I believe it's necessary for the size of a aquarium that I have. So yeah, so I do have a ton of surface area for not only mechanical filtration, but the biological filtration. You know what I mean? And when you have freshwater aquariums, you could use lava rock. You could use shower scrubbers. That's going to be mechanical and it's going to end up being biological. You know what I mean? So keeping both, going to the Dollar Tree, you could save a lot of money when you build and create your own filters. So that's why I push a lot of that. I promote that a lot more than just going out and buying a filter from a big box company, and you're going to constantly have to keep on replacing parts, whether it be a motor, impeller, gasket, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? It's always going to be something that you got to spend some money on because all the parts have a life expectancy on it. But anyway, I really do hope that I was able to help some of you all in the hobby. You know, I really hope that I was able to help some of you all with understanding filtration, why we filter, what kind of filter is best for our aquariums, the differences in the filters, the difference in the media that's in these filters, because it can get a little complicated. It can, you know, becomes convoluted when you look something up online and you getting all these different answers or whatever. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that you all learned something. Hope that you were inspired by something. If you're new to the channel, do a couple things for me real quick. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. And everybody, if you like the video, like the damn video. Peace!